Christopher's done it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome. 130th episode of Collecting Profit. It is also the last episode. That'll be at 10 o'clock. Not the last episode, but it's not. That'll be at 10 p.m. starting July. We're going to move to 9 p.m. I think we'll have a better show. We could talk longer. We can actually, get some more people to go ahead and come on also. Some of these guys got to go to sleep. I don't get it. But hey, welcome to the panel. It is a wrestling week. We'll start off right on my screen, right below me. Anthony, how you doing, buddy?
What's up? I appreciate you having me once again, man. It's an honor and a privilege.
Any new things coming up?
Not currently. I've been slacking like very hardcore because I have no PTO, so we haven't really been traveling anywhere, so I don't really have too many travel vlogs. But there is something new coming out next month. There's going to be a brand new podcast Michael and I are doing called Dialed In. It's going to be an NFL podcast, so we're going to kind of kick off with the preseason. So
yeah.
So yeah.
To my lower right, welcome, first time on the program, Sticks G. You know him, you love him. He did my new background for me. Love it. Sticks, how you doing, buddy?
Let's go. We're doing good.
Yeah. Anything new happening with you?
Been doing a lot of battles lately, blaster box battles, and Speak of the Devil, Brandon Jensen just hopped in. We had a nice Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle battle, which was awesome product. And
that's cool.
We'll be going live Saturday to watch along with the pay-per-view. So anybody that wants to come out and hang out, that's always a good time.
Nice. 6G Wrestling is the channel. And Firestar, Johnny, how you doing?
What's up, brother? Again, thank you. Should be fun tonight. Brandon, I sent you the link. You should join us. You know, the other part of fish, the sticks is here. The fish isn't. So
yeah, we only got sticks. You don't have the fish part. So hey, this coming week we got Night of Champions. Here in the United States, it'll be Afternoon of Champions. If you're going to watch it, starts at 1 o'clock.
Afternoon of a couple of champions.
Yeah. Afternoon of one championship match. I don't understand how that works. Night of Champions is supposed to be all the champions fighting, but I guess things have changed. There was a lot of talk. Was it going to happen? Was it not going to happen? Man, I know on X. Robert, how you doing? Welcome.
What's up,
Pops?
There was a lot of talk on X that fans, WWE, you have to not let them go, and everything. And I don't know. Personally, I didn't think that was going to happen. I just could not see, them going ahead and canceling this show. I
couldn't see him canceling. I could see him possibly moving it, but that would have been rough too for him.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, if they were going to move it, the two things they have going for them is they do have their performance center, but man, that doesn't seat a lot of people. The other thing is they do have the UFC thing in Vegas, which they could have probably grabbed, but who knows? Yeah. It really doesn't matter. The show's going on, and we are here to talk about it. So here's our card. This is not in the order of the matches. I don't know how the matches are going to go, but we got Karrion Kross against Sammy. We got a street fight of Rhea and Raquel. U.S. title, Fatu against Solo. Queen of the Ring, Asuka and Jade. King of the Ring, Randy and Cody. And the undisputed championship, the last real champion, against the voice of the voiceless. So, Sami Kane, carrying Cross against Sami Zayn. Corey, throw this one at you. What do you think? What's going on? What do you think?
I really like Karrion Kross as a wrestler. Before he came to WWE, he put on some awesome matches like TNA, wherever else he was. But
Hey, Larkin.
they're just dragging it out. Like he gets a match every couple months now, it seems. So if he was to lose this, I don't know what they would do with him. Like, they would have to release him. So I think he's gonna take out Sami Zayn, and maybe Sami starts teaming up with him or something.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah, I would probably have to agree. My prediction would be Cross wins, just because I think they're going to try to give him a little bit of a push. And I think Sammy's a big enough name that it gives him a little bit of a push. And Sammy's a great talent. So I think that they're going to put on a great match either way.
How about you, John?
You said this is a street fight, right? Or no? Or is this just regular match? Regular match.
A regular match.
I'm going to say Karrion wins, but by disqualification from Sami. Sami's going to try something, or something's going to happen.
Yeah, so I think, this is the first PLE Cross has been on. I mean, it might be ever. I mean, I honestly can't remember the last time he was on a PLE.
Maybe Royal Rumble he was in that. Was he in that?
I don't think he was a participant there. So I don't know.
It might have been back when he had his whole crew there.
When it was the Final Testament, yeah, maybe. This one, I'm not sure of. I agree with what you're saying, Sticks, is that if you have Sami go ahead and beat him, it's almost like a going away match then for him. Right? They might as well not renew his contract.
I know, yeah, his contract is coming up, Karrion Kross. So, I mean, I don't see this giving like Sami an extra push. So it makes no sense unless he wins it. Lately, I don't know. They confuse me all the time, so who knows?
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, if there was, you'd think, hey, could there be a run-in by somebody, but nobody that you would think of to help either one, right? For any reason. So, I don't know. I think, to me, it makes sense for Karrion Kross to win, kind of that, hey, Sami, I told you, stop being nice. You need to go ahead and, not be nice anymore. But would the fans want to see Sami Zayn as a heel character?
I mean,
is there an appetite for that?
He's been there, but I think he's been face for so long. I don't know how a heel turn would really work for him at this point.
Yeah.
It could go opposite too, where like he wins, Sami Zayn wins, and it kind of turns Karrion Kross good. But
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's weird, but it's going to be interesting to see what's
probably one of the better matches of the card.
Huh?
Probably one of the better matches on the card.
Potentially, it definitely has the ability to be. It's going to be interesting to see what Scarlett wears, because she normally doesn't have too much on. And they're not allowed to.
Did they add the Dom and AJ match to this?
No, that was the match got taken away. They're playing it that Dom is hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is why we got this match. Okay. Well, it's either the reason why we got this match or the reason we got this match.
Which makes
Rhea Ripley against Raquel Rodriguez. Street fight. Anthony, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go with Rhea on this one. I think that Raquel has been mainly booked in tag team matches. So I think that a lot of her push is in that direction currently. So I think Rhea's more of a single star, so I could see her kind of getting more of a, rub in this street fight because of that.
Luckett says we've seen this already in NXT. John, what do you think?
I would love to see Rhea win, but I think the Judgment Day is going to get involved somewhere, somehow, and give the other one I can't stand a win.
Sticks?
Yeah, I see Rhea winning this one. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I don't see them giving Raquel the big push. Like they would have to make her win for some big reason, right? They can't. Rhea's lost quite a bit lately, so I don't know. I think Rhea's going to take this one.
So I'm going a little bit of the opposite, and I'm thinking that Raquel is going to win. Maybe she wins via DQ with help from Roxanne. But I'm just thinking with Liv being out, which looks to be the rest of this calendar year, based off of her, separating her shoulder last week and having her surgery.
Yeah, I think I heard like 3 to 4 months or something.
Oh, 3 to 4 months? Okay. Initially, I had heard it was 6. So I'm wondering if they're giving, Raquel a little bit of a push.
It's a possibility, but I think they either need to have them drop the titles, like just relinquish them.
Maddie. Well, supposedly I heard they said that there's no plans for WWE to have them give the tag titles up, which in a way kind of makes sense, because what tag teams do they have where they would put on a tournament?
True. But
I thought they might do the same thing they did with the other women's belts there, and just let her take Roxanne as the champ, kind of like they did with Bianca and Naomi.
Yeah, I mean that could set up a Liv Revenge Tour Part 2, where she wants to beat up Roxanne and she turns on Raquel for Raquel going ahead and kind of turning her back. So
yeah,
I don't know. This is to me it's a filler type match. I mean, how long are they gonna let it go? It's gonna be interesting. We won't have the benefit of seeing any of Mommy's tattoos, that's for sure. Because they'll be from that basically the only thing we'll see is their faces and their hands. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. That's why I didn't understand this match over there.
Yeah. Well, probably because I don't know. When you look at the women that are out there available that they could have sent there, Night of Champions, your women's champion Io Sky has not fought since WrestleMania.
I don't know what's going on with that.
It's Night of Champions. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
you could have Becky defend her title,
right? You could have had Becky. Zelina Vega, she only seems to be going against either Chelsea or Piper or Alba Fire. It seems those are the only 3 people that she can wrestle. I don't know.
Do you think that there might have been people that didn't want to fight over there? Like I know there's been a lot of talk about, certain wrestlers, and
I'm sure that's
going
part
against
of
their beliefs.
I do. Supposedly, I don't know. I think I'm surprised CM Punk is going there. To be honest with you, I'm extremely.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about him.
Well, he claimed at one point he would never fight over there.
Right. So I don't know. We will see.
Yeah.
We
Are
will.
they gonna fight in sleeves because of the tattoos?
No, he don't have to.
Yeah, same with Sammy. What changed for Sammy?
Yeah, Sammy's another one. But Sammy did well. But Sammy has gone there. Sammy's been there. When remember the one time he came out and he was wearing all of the. I'm not. I don't know what you call it. I'll say Arab looking gear. I don't. Sorry if I'm offending anybody, but you know what I'm saying. He came out with wearing the big
Yeah.
white and everything, and had the
Right.
the thing
I
on
heard
his
he
head
has some
stuff.
sort of descent from over there, like part of
Yeah.
his background.
He's Syrian,
So, I mean, it's not too far off, really.
and I think he does speak the language because I remember he did something. He said something or anything.
Mhm.
So, who knows? Who
What's up,
knows?
Kenneth?
How you doing, Kenneth? Then we have the. I mean, I don't even want to call it the beginning of the end of the bloodline because to me the bloodline has been gone for a while here. But John, what do you think?
Fatu retains.
Is it an
They're not gonna
interesting
put
match?
they're not going to put that belt on Solo right now. There's going to be interference from JC on behalf of Solo, and I believe Jimmy on the part of Fatu. Possibly. Although I've heard there's only like who's ever in the matches are the only people going over there right now, except for the Friday night people, Friday night SmackDown people. So.
Robert says Fatu. Sticks, what says you?
I says what Pop says, and what B says. He's got way too much hype right now to take that belt off him.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
99% chance he wins. On the 1% chance he doesn't, he probably wins it back on like Monday night or on SmackDown, whatever they're on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I would not understand a reason for taking it off of him so soon. He hasn't done anything to make you believe that they would. Anthony, what about you? What do you think?
I'm going to ride the bandwagon with you boys. I definitely think the momentum's there with Fatu currently. I don't think they're going to take it off of him just yet. As a result, he retains.
Yeah, I think it's funny. You look at Solo of what when he first came up and what he was, to where he is now, the change in the character. He was, the enforcer, the quiet one, didn't say a word. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, people wondered, oh
Yeah.
wow, does he suck on the mic, and that why they put him, in that role and stuff like that. And you
He is
see
terrible on the
how
mic.
far he's come.
He is terrible.
I'd
on the
say
mic.
he's getting better on the mic.
Yeah,
Like he does say some funny things, and like the way he acts, you can tell he's getting a little more comfortable with it. But it's taken a while.
I think they should have let him go along like the lines of what Goldberg did for a long time, not speaking, and then eventually working and talking. But he does need a lot more mic work.
Yeah, I agree. But I like everybody's saying, I just it makes zero sense to go ahead and do something, and take it off of him, from that standpoint. Where it goes from here, I don't know where Solo fits now.
And
I'm surprised WWE didn't drag it out for longer. Usually stuff like this they drag out for like a good 6 months,
Right.
Until you're like sick of it, and then they finally do it.
Right. Like, hey, Jacob, you know what? I know you want me, but you got to go through, JC Mateo first.
Yeah.
And then you could go ahead and get to me and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know, man. It some things, it's like I'm saying, that the you made a great point there, Sticks, of is that the storylines, there's so many of them that are rushed. It doesn't make sense. Some of the things
I think they did to try to get it on the show is what they did. Rush it to get it in here because they didn't have anybody else.
And they figured, hey, we got to have a championship fight on Night of Champions. We might as well go ahead and have one. And then we get to the Queen of the Ring, Jade Asuka. You know, I don't know. I'm personally, I don't get this unless the idea is that Asuka wins and she goes after Io as trying to cash in on Io. It doesn't seem as though neither one of these two would have any kind of beef with Tiffany. It doesn't make sense. You don't think that they would go that way. I mean, anything's possible. But actually, it doesn't matter. You know, actually, no, it doesn't make it so. Are they both considered Raw, or is one Is Jade SmackDown, or is Jay Raw also?
I think she's SmackDown, I believe.
Like, I think she's Raw. Didn't she just fight this last week on Raw?
So if they're
Yeah,
both Raw,
yeah, Raw. Yeah, right.
so that means no matter what, the winner of this match faces Io Sky
Yeah.
at SummerSlam. That's the way, because that's what they said. The winner, the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring, get a title fight against their respective brand's champion. So if both of these two are Raw, that means one of these two. I think they would, if based off of that, I think they'll go Asuka, two Japanese wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
You know, and late championship matchup at the big pay-per-view. You know, so Pop says Jade is SmackDown. So I don't know. Larkin is right. Jade doesn't belong in the ring with Asuka. I mean, you know, you look at what Asuka can do in the ring versus what Jade can do in the ring. It's going to be, I think, for this to be a good match, in my opinion, even though she's coming back from injury, Asuka's going to have to go ahead and carry this for this to be a good match.
Yeah.
Hammy and Son, welcome.
This has potential to be a sloppy match, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Yep.
They're both like decent wrestlers, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't, you know, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anthony, what do you think?
I personally think they're going to give this one to Jade. I just think they've been building since she's been in WWE and they haven't really done much with her yet. So I think this is a good opportunity to give her a big win over a legitimate superstar former champion. So it's a good, in my opinion, catapult to actually give her a title match. So I would pick Jade just for that reason alone. Talent wise, I agree with you guys. Asuka is definitely a superior talent, but a lot of times I think WWE will push somebody that's like, you know, that they want to push regardless of the other person's a little bit better in the ring. I think the language barrier with Asuka is like really hurt her in the U.S. market. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Jade for this match.
Yeah. So, Sammy, oh, wait a minute, I missed that. Sammy saying, Hammy and Son is saying Jade. Dom is saying Asuka. And the bourbon guy got to get a bunch of stuff off of his chest about creative or just not the right time.
Maybe at the end of the show, maybe.
It's coming. We bourbon guy, we will get there. We will definitely get there after the card. It was definitely one of the things that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. Hammy, my granddaughter was born Tuesday night. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
yeah, buddy.
Congratulations.
And I'm going with you,
officially
Mike. I'm going with you, Mike. They want the two Japanese going against each other. It's going to be Asuka that takes this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I you know, I don't know why you bring Asuka back to win and then lose here. I'm just curious. But I was not a big. I mean, I watched AEW. I haven't watched it in a while or everything, you know. But when Jade was there, she never held the women's title, right? Was she just like whatever it was, like a TV champ or something? I know she had didn't she have a belt at one time at
Yeah.
AEW?
She did, I'm pretty sure.
But I don't know if she was like, a women's champion. So
TBS title.
TBS title going to
With Asuka being Raw and Jade being SmackDown, because I checked on their site. If Jade won, she'd have to go up against Tiffany then. And there's no rift there, unless they start one.
Well, but then again, but John, we've seen the WWE right now. They don't give a shit about storylines.
This is true, yes.
No.
or so-called storylines.
Like Jade was like, one of the top women there in AEW. Like,
agreed.
It says she held the belt for 508 days straight. Like she never lost. And it's like they bring her here to do what? Like they're not really pushing her like I thought they would when she showed up.
And they gave her a little push there at the beginning, but that was it.
Yeah, the crowd was so into her and everything, and then they're like, you can go be tag champs and then lose and then do nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't know. I mean, it's like, to me, they still haven't even finished the story with her and Naomi.
Yep.
And maybe that's what they do. Maybe if we're looking at, if let's assume, which is crazy, they are looking at long-term stuff. I don't know if they do it to Jade, but Naomi is Money in the Bank winner.
Yeah, and now she's kind of going the other direction, right? Like she's going after the title, and Nia Jax is getting in her way from cashing it in. And
hey, Brendan. Well, what I'm saying though is could you have Jade win here? Jade goes against Io. Jade wins. Naomi cashes.
Yep.
The ultimate way to go ahead and do that conflict that we really we really haven't had much to that conflict. I mean, you would think that if somebody went ahead and tried to take you out by putting you through the windshield of a car, you kind of sort of would want to beat the crap out of them. And they don't appear to have finished that story or done anything more with that story, is what I'm saying. Now, Dom is right. They don't give a crap anymore. That's all about the dollar,
Yeah.
It is.
So we'll see. Cody against Randy. Anthony, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Cody on this one. I think it's going to go to set up a match at SummerSlam, championship match.
So both of these guys are SmackDown. So the winner of this we're going to believe he's going to continue to win. We're going to say John Cena, the last real champion. The last champion. John, your thoughts?
I've heard a lot about this possibilities in this match. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cody, but there has been talk about The Rock coming back, dropping Cena, having Cody win using a suspect device.
And against Orton or against Cena?
Against Orton.
To get
and that way he becomes the final boss's main guy because he's tired of Cena or whatever. But I don't see that happening here. I can see that maybe at SummerSlam when they meet up. But I got to give this one to Cody. It's going to be, I think it's probably going to be a little bit better matches maybe. With
I don't know if I see that happening, but if it did happen, it would be kind of like crazy.
It would be,
right? I definitely think Cody's going to win. I don't think they're going to give Randy Orton another title shot.
I don't. If that happened, it would have to happen at like SummerSlam where he came out halfway through the match or something. So
Like,
Well,
I think they should put somebody
the
else.
winner gets it. When you think about it, if we keep it as with Cena, you're thinking about this. The winner of this match closes SummerSlam weekend with John Cena because they're not putting John Cena on Saturday night. If he's still the champion, he's not. They're not putting him on Saturday night. They're putting him on Sunday.
You mean in Atlanta, right? Oh yeah, he's going to be on SummerSlam. He'll be Sunday. Yeah,
Well,
he'll
and
close out.
with it being his last go round, right? I don't see them having two matches against Randy, two title matches against Randy. Even though I'd rather see Randy win this, I'm kind of tired of Cody Rhodes. But yeah, I think they're setting up, Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
And it'd be a perfect point to flip them both. Because John's not going to go out as a heel. That's for sure. He's not. He's not going to go out as a heel.
What do you think about Anthony? What do you think if Cody wins of a possible heel turn at SummerSlam?
I think that actually be kind of cool because he hasn't been a heel in a while, and if him and John are fighting, you can't really have heel versus heel, so it would give Cena a good reason to go face again. So that would be kind of cool. I think Cody kind of relishes the babyface role, so I don't know how much he'd be eager to go heel at this moment.
Well, I know he's told The Rock before, back when this whole thing started with Cena, he was the one supposed to go heel. He told The Rock, no, I'm not. I don't want to go heel ever again, but money talks. So,
well, I think so. I think Cody wins. I do think there is a heel turn by Cody. I don't know if it's enough to have John lose the title at SummerSlam. But again, I'm going to make believe that WWE is long-term looking. Do you think about it from this standpoint? Cody is heel on SmackDown. You got Jey Uso that you could get over that way, and then you have, him confronting his former tag team partner. Now, I know, but the thing is, I heard that they're looking to bring the Usos back to have them feud with the New Day. But if you wanted to, if you thought there could be an opportunity for it, it could be a point to where you have that face versus heel. If you have Cody flip, then you have him and Jay, then can go at each other.
And you could still have that match even if they are thinking about putting them back together, because there's been nothing showing that they're trying to join as a tag team. So you could have that match and maybe towards the end of the year they get back together or something.
Yeah.
But I think a good heel turn for Cody would be good. And Randy winning means nothing. I like the guy, but it doesn't do anything for him. He'll end up getting his 15th again. I know that.
Unless if they are looking at a heel or someone being able to help flip Cena to face, and if Cody is adamant that he doesn't want to do it, Orton's been Orton has been a heel before. He's been it many times in his career.
He's kind of been going a little crazy lately too, right? They're making him go a little crazy. So a heel turn wouldn't be too far
to head that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I may be in the minority, but I
if anything, I see a match between him and Ron Killing / R-Truth coming up.
Randy?
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I was saying, I really don't have a desire to see Cena Orton again. From that standpoint, I know we saw Cena against Cody, but
I mean,
was
that
different.
could be the play too during this match. Is R-Truth comes in as he's like Randy's ready to punt Cody and interferes again, and then Cody wins the match.
Yeah.
It's not a DQ because he doesn't get caught.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, it's this one was it was very odd because I thought, quite honestly, with Randy being a SmackDown guy, I thought Jay was going to win on Monday, so that you would at least have had the opportunity to have Jay win, and then do Jay versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Their rematch. Their
When I saw the lineup for the men's side of this King of the Ring, I knew the last two who they were going to be. It just you could read between the lines on it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
could be Jey Uso versus Goldberg.
that's true. It could have been. Yeah, that would be funny as crap.
And he drops the title to Jay. That would be interesting.
Yeah, but that would mean
because if he wins it, he's not going to have a long run with it to begin with.
Well, he's not. That's supposed to be his final match, though.
But he did say that if he won, we see where it goes.
Well, that's true. He did go ahead and say that.
Yeah, because he got caught saying he was going to lose.
The guy who comes out and throws cards at the fans says the collector. Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah.
And then what more than likely will be the last, will feature the last time is now. John Cena.
I hate to say it. Punk. Cena's going to win it, but he's going to play dirty as usual.
Sticks?
Yeah, no, I think, again, there's no way they're going to pull the belt off Cena. I don't really want to see CM Punk win either.
This is like the seniors match.
Another throwaway match, but
yeah.
Anthony?
I'm with the boys on this one. I think Cena retains. The only way I could see him not retaining is if like they wanted to do some kind of a run-in with the cash-in with the briefcase or whatever.
That's a possibility, yeah.
I still think Cena's going to retain because I think his story's not over yet.
No, it's not. I mean, and the way Punk was saying, "You've never beaten me," that just sets it up for Cena to win. And I don't see Seth cashing in on John. I see him possibly maybe during the Saturday Night main event, Goldberg and Gunther probably match.
Why?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, it does, Lockin.
Yeah, it's not great. If you're the Prince, you're pissed off.
you're actually hoping for run-ins at this point.
You know, if you're the Prince, you're like, this is what you're giving me for all the freaking money I'm giving you? I wonder, and I know it won't happen, so this is more like a, not a conspiracy type theory, I think. A conspiracy type thing. How motivated potentially could Punk be to be over there when when he probably does not want to be there? Now, to me, I don't understand how that whole thing works. Did the bosses from TKO basically say, "Hey, Triple H, guess what? If Punk wants his shot, here's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to go there. We don't care because there's no room for him anyplace else."
Now, I will say it's possible Punk had a change of heart, too.
Yeah,
but he could have been like, you know what? Talk so much shit, but let's do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Still going to be a I give this a 20-minute time limit on it, and that's what's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'll
think
say
it'll
like,
be. Yeah, it's Six.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I
I'll
think
say like,
it'd be good.
yeah. No, like a couple of years ago, Cena when he was like trying to fight, his matches were sloppy and boring. But like these last bunch of matches he's had, I don't know. I think they've been entertaining. Like better than I thought they would be.
I think it can be. I mean, they are both, over the hill, but whatever. They're going to pop a
Yeah.
hip probably.
Well, I think, like I said, to me, what I, what I'm the most curious about is, how motivated a guy who, probably really honestly doesn't want to be there, might be thinking he's kind of being forced to go there,
True.
To lose.
to go ahead and to lose. Like, hey, yeah, we'll let you go ahead and fight John. It's going to be in a place that you probably really would rather not go. And oh, by the way, you ain't taking the belt off. You're not getting the strap.
Yeah.
And
It's going to be a 2.5-hour show. We all know that. Because that's all they can run anymore.
Well, I think it'll be closer to 3. How, I don't know.
A lot of backstage talk. Interviews.
I mean,
Well-
do they add another match like they did last pay-per-view?
That's
Like
true,
on
they could do that
SmackDown,
too.
do they add another match in?
They could. You never know. Something could happen on SmackDown and people are there and stuff. So they add them to it.
Looking at who's going to be there on SmackDown, most of it's people who are already in it, but they'll have others. But I got a question for Anthony. I see that Raw is coming to Pittsburgh, and they're going to also tape SmackDown that night too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You gonna hit it up?
I don't currently have tickets, but I had thought about it.
We want to see you front row by the ramp.
I don't got that kind of money.
Like you can hold up your sign, and
They're doing Raw and SmackDown together.
that's when you click on it. It shows 2 shows one night. Now Cena's not going to be there, but I'm sure that's not a loss to you.
Yeah, you got to wear a green smiley hat, not just a green hat, but smiley hat.
That's right.
Might be able
I
to
was
make
looking to see where we got Cena coming back again to see him.
Well, I got to believe he's going to be at Saturday night's main event. I mean, it's in Atlanta. I mean, I would think he would come here again. But the problem you have is that that won't be a title match. So I don't know. Does he just show up to talk or something? I don't know.
It's possibly right now the only people they're showing out, of course, Goldberg and Gunther.
Yeah, and I would, and if it's going to be Gunther, if it's going to be Goldberg's last match, it's going to be the main event.
That's why I don't think, with it being his last match, I don't see them having Cena there to kind of overshadow it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't know how many after Saturday. I don't know how many more. Oh, there you go. Only 16 appearances left.
That's another appearance. Yep. One of them is going to be July 18th in San Antonio. That's his one after Riyadh. That's how long you got to wait.
San Antonio, SummerSlam. You would think Paris. So I don't know where he fits in a bunch of these other ones, but to me, I just wonder, again, if every time we do one of these, we all talk about a flip back to a face that he won't go out as a heel. He'll want to go out as a face.
Right.
Aren't we running out of big shows to do that?
Yeah, because you have Riyadh, you have the SmackDown July 18th, and then the next one is in Quebec on August 8th. So that's 2. He doesn't come to Raw that night. I don't think he's not in Boston, which makes no sense at all. But
I think that's why you're going to see
Is he going to
the
finish off?
unannounced. What was that?
Was
Is he
that
going to finish off at Royal Rumble? Is that where he's supposed to finish?
probably? And he'll be in Dublin on the 22nd of August. So that's 3 shows.
Well, but when he announced, was it 2025 was his last, or was it 1 year from when he announced?
Yeah, December's his last appearance.
Dong.
He's going to be in France. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, that's why I'm saying so. But I think the unannounced location and date for Saturday night's main event in December, which would be the last big event for WWE, it would make sense if they announce all of a sudden that is going to be in Boston and that is going to be his last appearance in Boston.
I'm curious to see if he shows up at Survivor Series. I can see him making all the pay-per-views. That's the thing. It's where they're going to get the most views for him.
Yeah.
He's got to be at all the pay-per-views. I mean,
Yep.
Saturday Night Main Event, no, but Survivor Series, Crown Jewel, he'll probably be there. Because actually, I think they don't show. They only go up to, for him, the France show. So that's only 4 shows. You still have 12 more. You got how many more pay-per-views left? 1, 2, 4 for the year, I think.
I wonder, are we looking this way, trying to figure out, looking at a list of wrestlers that would turn him back to a face, when we should be looking this way at the final boss?
Oh, okay. So, like you said, there's that chance with the final boss coming out during one of these pay-per-views and taking Cody over John.
Not even necessarily doing that. He comes and says, John, I've been watching John start, all of a sudden every now and again where he kind of stops a little bit and you see in his face, like sometimes when he talks to some of the guys, everything. And then he goes ahead and, saying, John, you are not doing this the way I thought you were going to do it. And something along those lines happen.
That's possible. But the only 2 that I can see possibly without the final boss would be Cody by him going heel, or R-Truth ending up actually really getting to him. Because that's always a possibility.
He also said, I'm going to ruin wrestling and leave Logan Paul to take over. Now, what happens if he, goes heel before that, right? Or goes face before that, and is like, you know what? I can't leave WWE with this, douchebag.
Yeah. I wish they would never.
His final matches against Logan Paul, and he beats the hell out of him. That's the thing that I'm the 2 things I'm curious about, is how this face turn happens. If there's going to be one, how it happens, and number 2,
nothing would get the fans behind him quicker than beating Logan Paul up.
That's true.
And this could be something that
true.
happens out of the blue on us, and one night you just see him come out and he has his music playing, his lights up, and I mean they could do that on us too. Like he comes out and just starts ripping the Rock to pieces on the mic. That's a possibility too.
Yeah, my other thing that I'm curious about is will they let him? Is he a historian type guy where he will lose his last match, or will he become one of the ones that wins his final match? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think he's the type of guy that'll put somebody over on his way out.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, but when you
Yeah,
look
he's a
at who
company
he's
guy.
going against, who would he have to put over?
Okay, so here's my thought. Far-fetched. You have Austin Theory turn on what's his name, become a face. John loses to him is the only one that makes really sense. Or does it do it? Because I can't see him doing it to Penta. I can't see him doing it to one of those lucha guys.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Chad Gable.
You think there's any chance he fights Gunther at all?
I don't think so. Well, no, I can't say it because if he has the belt and they go to where
They go to Australia.
And he is supposed to be there in Perth, so that's the only if Gunther has it though at that point.
That's the only champion versus champion. That's the only time we have that, right? Because when they go for the whatever they try and win the ring.
Yep.
See, that's the thing that gets me is that I'm just wondering from a standpoint. Now I know Lockett says that'd be the first time that John ever put anybody over. But how do you? To me, you'd have to get a guy like Theory. You'd have to figure out a way to start moving him up to get to that point, because when you look at the people that he has been going against, yes, it's been that that hey, it's the John Cena going against rekindling some of the old matches from 10 years ago and so on and so forth.
Oh, there's another one. There's another good one. Breaker might be one he could turn it over to.
Yeah, but Breaker would have to go. I mean, I think he's the type of guy that would beat Roman, Seth, Byrne, Cody Orton, Oba, Trickman, in a handicap. But I mean, like, I just don't, the only way he'd put Breaker over would be Breaker would have to split up from Seth and those guys to, do something. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing, it's just when you sit back and you look at it, it's hard to figure out what their plan could be.
Theory's the only one that makes sense, but then they haven't been on TV in a while, so I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Fatu's already over, so that would make no sense.
I mean, no one's gonna like it, but the truth is,
truth will set you free.
No, Roman
does make sense because of how
I am back to go ahead and become back to show that I am still at the head of the table by taking out the last real champion.
But is he going to be heel or is he going to be a face at that point with Roman?
Who?
Roman,
I think, is one of those guys where I don't know if I don't think he is. I think he's I don't know, Anthony in the business. What do you guys call it when a guy has both sides? Yeah, when he has the heels and the face. What do you call those guys?
Normally like a tweener.
Yeah.
Like a betweener. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
From that he acts heel, but like everybody loves him for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is kind of like a Seth Rollins, to an extent.
Well, yeah. That's what's so crazy about the whole thing. You look at the guys that are over and stuff, everybody wants to hate Seth Rollins. They sing his song. They're singing his song and everything, and they're cheering for him. And then all of a sudden, CM Punk music's come on, and then they're singing his song, and it's like, then you have, they go in between. I'm going to sing a little Cult of Personality, and then I'm going to do a little bit of that. Then I'm going to go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't really know who they really had to actually have him if he does.
That's why I wanted
would be Roman. or
To me, because
Theory?
well, see, Theory doesn't make sense because he's been doing nothing. It would almost make sense. I mean, I hate to say it, but and although I would not, I mean, I don't think that neither one of them would deserve to be at that level yet. A Trick or an Oba, in my opinion, would make more sense than a Theory. But those two guys don't deserve to be looked at as the leaders of the company. Roman has that little. Roman can have that little thing that says, "Really, you're the last champion. I held the championship for 1,326 days, pal. No, I'm the last real champion. I'm the head of the table."
I think I figured out who they're going to be. Who it's going to be. It's going to be McAfee.
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole would be hilarious. Wade Barrett to avenge the Nexus.
And it's funny, you know, a few years ago, we would never be having this type of conversation because we had storylines. Now it's one giant blur to where it's
what are you guys doing?
It's like week to week, you're not 100% sure what's going to happen.
I did notice
we
on
were actually
WWE
talking
site,
about that the other day too.
Yeah, on WWE site on the free agents they have Omos and Brock. And I thought they got rid of Brock's stuff off of their site there for a while.
They
Now
did,
they're
and then they put it back on there.
back on. So I don't see that being for John Cena, but I think, like you said, Mike, I think it might be Roman. Roman will return before that match, obviously, at some point here, but
When Triple H took over the stories, everybody was like excited, and they were doing all this good
at
stuff.
the beginning, it was okay.
Good stories. And then all of a
just,
sudden, I don't know what changed, but it's just kind of
taking
a dive. And then they'll be doing stories and just like stop them. Like you don't see those guys for weeks, and you're like, just like they killed the Wyatt Six. Like they were super pumped up. The crowd would go nuts every time, and then now, like, they were so quiet in their last match.
And I don't get that either, Lachlan, why they would sign Omos. I would have just let him go.
Well, they say that over in Japan that he's been doing really good, that he is getting, you know, better and stuff. You know, they still like those larger-than-life dudes. I mean, you know what I'm saying from that standpoint. But I will say one thing. I don't know how much we could say that Triple H was doing well with storylines. And the reason why I say that is a lot of those storylines were still going into that WrestleMania, were still Vince McMahon era storylines. Yeah. We can say whatever we want, but they were still Vince McMahon era storylines. And then you could see as those things started to go, and then you started to see the lack of them. You know?
Well, I know you have what? Yeah. It's Triple H, you have Road Dogg doing writing. It's just, I mean,
yeah, you still have like a whole bunch of people. You would think
you'd have better with guys who were wrestlers back then when you had storylines that, why don't we go with this? But I think TKO does have some pretty big say in it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think, you know, like I wonder if you look at the three things that TKO has right now, like the big three, right? They have the bullfighting, they have the UFC, and they have WWE. You really don't build storylines in bull riding.
Or UFC, really.
And you really don't do them in the UFC, right? You know, I make, you know, Anthony may call Styx out at one of Styx matches from the crowd. Yeah, you punk you, but you're not fighting me or nothing, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
UFC 3,472, it's Styx G against Anthony, right? There's no, you know, and
I have really good matchmakers. Like their matchmakers are really good at what they do.
That's a UFC pay-per-view what I would pay for.
6G
true.
against Anthony.
That's right.
UFC 300.
Might have a little more hype
3,470.
than this pay-per-view.
I
But
get
I-
more views too.
But I just wonder, you know, has TKO looked at it and said, "Hey, you know what?
What did we buy?
We want to give we want more big match feels." And I wonder if that is what is helping ruin, and that's why you don't have, you know, the storylines. It seemed like we said here,
You're trying to
Fatu
make
against Solo.
Yeah, you're trying to make all these big matches with no build up to them. There's nothing there.
Yeah, Fatu against Solo was it was a think about it. It was a 3-event thing, right? There was Solo making fun of him. He's all gas, no brains, right? Then it was the I hate you Solo. Oh no, I just hate you. I don't know why he didn't say I hate you Solo. He just said I hate you. And now you have them fighting. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go.
That's what I was saying. I thought they would drag it out a little longer. 'Cause
Right.
Normally, that's say what Vince would do.
That's a
or-
match that would have been great for SummerSlam. They could have built it up really good, and boom.
Yeah.
But I think they were trying to get matches for Riyadh as quick as they could. Because at one point you only had Cena and CM Punk basically, or Cena and somebody.
I mean, you know, if they're doing this at this, what we are supposed to call the Night of Champions, which is it's a disgrace to call it that. And
Yeah,
we saw what they did at WrestleMania from a match perspective. We've seen what they've done, you know, the last couple of ones. I feel bad for all those people that are paying big dollars to go to SummerSlam. I can't see SummerSlam being worth whatever it is people are going to pay.
Especially within the
Yeah.
on the floor and up close. No way. You'd have to
Still
really.
people are going to pay it, but it's crazy.
Oh yeah, there is.
I mean,
I don't think they'll sell it out. They'll be close, but I don't think they'll sell it out.
there was talk. I don't know, was it WrestleMania or I forgot what one it was, but they were saying, you know, like the super VIP seats were $40,000.
That wouldn't
The
surprise
prices
me.
range from 40 grand to like 700.
Well, I know when I looked at
That's
one,
stupid.
well,
Yeah,
I watched a YouTuber who bought like the front row seats or like 2 rows back from the one side. It was $37,800 a ticket. You did get a food. You did get, if you wanted it, you could have gotten transportation to and from your hotel, but you didn't get backstage like you would think you would if you're paying that kind of money. You got
You
an
can almost
autograph
buy a
from
new
one
car.
wrestler.
You know, you can buy a nice new car first.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
when you get food, you get to keep a chair.
You get a lanyard. You get a photo op with one wrestler of their choosing, not yours, and they sign one item.
And think about it. You go to that show, you pay that kind of price, you fly. So then you have to probably, again, you don't really care if you're paying that kind of money, but then you have to probably ship the chairs home because what are you going to do? Use it as carry on?
Yeah.
And you're Mike, if you bought these,
PSA, excuse me, sir. We already have seats on the plane.
well, this one's a little more comfortable, please. Our luck, Mike, we'd buy those tickets. The person they'd bring out to us is one of the pretty deadly guys. That's what would happen to us. I know it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be anybody you'd want to see.
We'd get JD McDonough.
Oh, God. I'd want to hit him in the head just to say I did it.
Yeah.
It was funny when I guess he got pissed off at Corey, but I don't know if you heard. Corey was like, "Yeah, JD McDonough has like a head from Minecraft."
I remember that. Yeah. If you look at it, he kind of does.
Michael Cole does it too to him all the time.
Yeah,
We're not going to see McAfee for a while. I read on that. He's taking a
He's
break
a very
from
good
WWE.
wrestler. I'll give that to him though. He's a really good wrestler. His head just looks really funny on that body.
Yeah, JD. I mean, he. I'll tell you. I mean, that is one guy. When he first showed up, I was like, really, really. But when
Yeah,
you see him in the ring now, the guy he's good.
yeah,
You know, I
All
mean,
right,
he's good.
so
You know, and it's funny. Here we are talking about the storylines. Yet the one that everybody's been freaking waiting for, the breakup of the freaking Judgment Day,
I'm going to ask that, when do you think it's going to happen?
and it doesn't happen. And now you don't know if Liv getting hurt, how that affects everything. Because you think about it, she was just starting. She was supposed to fight against Bella at Evolution.
Dom.
You know,
Did you get it autographed,
yeah.
Dom?
That definitely.
really
That was
cool.
probably a match that was on this card, right? Like a tag team match.
Yeah, there's no tag team matches on this card, which you could have the tag team champions go up against somebody.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I don't.
Like Street
You think?
Profits ain't doing
Yeah.
much. And
Like I wonder. Is this definitely the influence of TKO of saying, hey, you know what? There's no need to have 8 matches. We could go with 5. We can push 6 because guess what? People are going to pay the price anyway. So why put more talent at risk for matches, or why, or to pay them? I don't know. I don't know how the pay works at that level. I mean, I know there's. I mean, I've seen Maven. He has a
yeah,
channel and he
Yeah,
has some
watch that.
pretty. He talked about pay and stuff, right? But from a standpoint of if they're not paying, I would assume for like Riyadh, obviously, I don't think CM Punk and John Cena are forking out a few $1,000, to get on a plane, right? I'm sure that's taken. They're taken care of there, but some of these other ones, I mean, I don't know. Is it something along those lines? They're saying, hey, there's no need for us to incur all the expense or the extra expense because guess what? John
yeah,
and Michael and Corey and Anthony, if there's 5 matches, they're gonna pay $100 for their seat. If there's 8 matches, they're gonna pay $100 for their seat. Why go ahead and
yeah.
have 2 more matches? Like I don't know. I
And
mean,
also,
is that possible?
I think it also saves them money on talent, paying the talent. If you have a short card, you're only paying those guys that are on that card. You're not paying a ton of extras to be there in the show. That saves them
Yeah,
dollars.
and you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay all those guys' flights and hotels, or I don't know if they pay for that stuff right now.
I think
But
they pay for the hotels now. I know they didn't when Maven back in the 80s and 90s. They didn't, but I
yeah,
think they do now.
But the thing is the thing that gets me more than anything is, and I think and Anthony and I had talked about this, previously also. They have so much talent just sitting there
it's almost
doing
like a waste.
absolutely nothing, and I don't understand.
'Cause
Like
now
I mean, I just like I don't know. I don't get you're cutting people. You're doing certain things over here to save money, but then over here you're not pushing the talent that you have.
yeah, because they stopped pushing Damian Priest.
Right.
Where's he been at the past couple weeks? You know,
Yeah.
No,
Now they have so much talent. Plus all the guys that are injured. Like I just seen a list here of just some of the people that are on injured list, and that's like a whole like 20 people. Like Tongaloa, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Dragunov, Tama Tonga, Zoe Stark, Bianca Belair, Otis, Rey Mysterio, Apollo Cruz, and El Grande Americano.
I just don't. When did El Grande
Like
get
that's
hurt? I
just
was watching his match. I
not
didn't
even the
see him
whole
get
list of
hurt at all.
injuries.
really, Mike?
I didn't know Bianca got hurt. When? Oh wait, no, Bianca. Did she break a hand or something or fingers?
A finger. She was due back recently. I know there's a couple on that list that were due back soon. I know Ray is basically can come back. I think Bianca can come back.
That's
I think
just
the
that
Tonga
kills
Loa
a
is
lot of
the two.
storylines too, right?
Yeah,
Like that can halt a lot of different stuff like really quickly.
because I'd like to see the Tonga Loas come back as a tag team. I think they'd be really good. I mean, they can't talk worth shit, but
Well, they don't. I don't know. It seems as though they
Those guys
have
when they came
stopped
in,
liking
it
tag
was
team
like
wrestling. You know.
yeah. Like when they came in, it was like, oh my god, look at these animals, they're so crazy. And everybody was like scared of them, and then it just kind of made them soft. Like it's
Yeah.
like
we did. The only one they kept
I
going
don't know.
was
They
Jacob.
didn't use those guys the right way.
You know, you wonder if that Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0 War Games was, looking back at it now, if that was a good idea.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
You know, I'm not saying you could have kept all 10 of them together. You know what I
What
mean?
are they
From
going to
that
do with this
standpoint.
JC guy
No.
now? I mean, they're just going to just let him hang around solo and just ruin his career, basically.
Well, that's just it. That's what I mean. They bring
Well,
on
they got
they bring on so much talent. And we haven't
they
even
signed
talked
that
about the
other guy.
women.
What's his name? They signed another one of
They-
the brothers
Yeah,
or whatever, Hikuleo or whatever his name is.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
they made him leave New Japan Pro Wrestling like 6 months ago, and then they still haven't like brought him in to do anything.
Have
Like,
they signed Zilla yet or no? I know he's another one of theirs that is supposed to be coming.
I don't know.
yeah,
I-
Do
he was
they
supposed to
come
be
in
coming
with?
when
Do they come
Tonga
in
Loa
with
did or
when
whatever.
Roman comes back? Like that one from Japan you were talking about.
see. I don't think.
Maybe.
I don't think there's a need for anything along those lines. I just don't. I don't.
I agree.
I don't see it anymore. On the only thing I can potentially see them doing is Roman and the Usos coming back as a 3-man faction to go against Seth and his 3-man faction. That's the only way I could see if you bring in a bloodline type thing back.
But
That's the
is
only way.
that really going to be a good match with the size of Braun and Reed against the Usos? I mean, that's why I think maybe he brings in that Hikuleo guy and maybe another bigger guy just to take him on. If Bronson and Braun can, deal with each other to keep longer going. Then there's something going to be coming between those two.
I think the second or potentially third greatest tag team ever can handle the Braun and Bronson show. You know,
And do they add anybody to that Seth Rollins little faction? Because there's been talk of that too.
I just I don't know what they're going to do with it.
So far, it's been nothing but talk and interrupting matches.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea what they could what the ultimate plan is for it. You just don't see anything. You know, maybe if they started to have Braun and Bronson going ahead and tagging up and potentially going ahead and try and become a tag team, and then but then wait a minute, huh? Tag team champs and the world champ together. Huh, we saw that already. It was called the Bloodline, right? I mean, so the problem you have is a lot of the shit that they think they could go ahead and do, we've already seen. It's like there's nothing new.
What would make it a little bit different would be Seth having the main title. Maybe Reed has the Intercontinental and Braun has the U.S. title. That's the only thing that would make it different, but it's still kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's like they all have
Pretty much
gold
what they do with like every faction, right? Like Judgment Day was kind of the same thing, and every faction's like, oh, we got to have all the belts, and then they eventually try and put them on them if they're a big faction.
You can go back to DX, they all had him at one point too. So they just can't think of anything new to do.
Yep. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Poll your audience and see what they say.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure,
Well,
we
it's
could all
like-
give you some good matches.
But it's like you look at the women too, right? I mean, they have all this. They have all this talent with the women, and what are they doing?
Nada. You have a street fight match. Ooh.
I mean, you have neither champ. You have no women champion showing up at Night of Champions. 0. I mean,
I don't see Alexa Bliss
Why?
joining them. I don't, for some reason. I don't see that happening.
A long time ago, I think the only way to save them is Alexa Bliss join them and be the leader and be the lady fiend. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but again,
Been there, done that.
pops up. I'm okay with that, but what are you doing with it? They're the only faction
Right.
that would be what 6? No, they'd be 6 people. Be a 6. They'd have the 4
Yep.
guys and the 2 girls.
And you can't put them up against
Pretty
Seth.
close to the judgment there.
Yeah, but what do you see? The problem you have is you look at it and you go, what are you doing with it?
Be right back.
I mean,
Yep.
do you want to see
Yeah, I
Dexter Loomis and John Casey as tag champs?
No.
Not necessarily.
What?
Not necessarily.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know what the problem you have is like. What do you do with it? What do you make it to be? I don't know what the plan was. But I think the problem you have what it is that Bray would have led the creative part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have been something, different than what, let's say you have other people thinking about what the Wyatt 6 should be, to where Bray himself would have gone ahead and had more of a creative say in what they were trying to do.
For sure.
I think
Yeah.
they should have put a title on. Like they should have had Uncle Howdy win a belt and just, had these guys kind of follow him around. Like that creepy sidekicks kind of thing.
What about the possibilities of a Zane Cross tag team?
Well, that's fine.
I mean, that's just something that would be different.
They don't push the tag team though.
They don't push anything.
But expanding the talent pool couldn't hurt. I mean, Brandon, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's the opposite. I think it's not doing anything. Look at the women. Look at how many women you have, and then if you watch NXT, there's a lot of good female talent, women talent at NXT.
Okay, so here's the problem with
So
expanding.
what are you going to do with them? You can't
If you
bring them
actually had-
all up.
If you actually had storylines, you could expand the talent pool. Without having storylines, you can't have as many people as you have. You start bringing some
And
really
all the
good
time you just care
storylines.
about them, like they're going to be re-signing more people, like newer
Oh, yeah.
people, and it's like, oh, this guy from AEW, they're going to be signing. Like it doesn't always come true, these headlines and stories, but it's like constantly I see so many of them, and I'm like,
You're seeing
big-
Moxley coming to the WWE, not at least until 2027, unless something happens drastically. And they just brought Nikki Bella back, and I hear Bree wants to come back now.
like, come
Are you going to
on,
bring?
You're
You going to bring Danny O'Brien back?
You've already
Maybe.
taken SmackDown down from 3 hours to 2 hours. Your Raw, which was, hey, we're going to be going to Netflix, so we have no time limit. When the show starts at 8 o'clock, we'll end whenever we want to end. What?
2.5 hours
Doing that
later.
since January, and maybe the longest one might be 2 hours and 45 minutes, or maybe the first one went 3. Other than that, it's been around 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yep.
So unless you're going to completely shrink down the amount of time that people are yapping, and replaying stories. I mean, you look, they Monday Night Raw, they had to play the whole, John Cena CM Punk thing all over again, the whole vignette. Why?
Yeah.
Time filler.
And then like 12 minutes for Jey Uso to get to the ring.
Yeah, that needs to stop.
Yeah.
I understood it when he
Right.
was champ. You're not champ anymore. Just come down the aisle
Like I get
for the
I
ramp.
get it, it pumps up the crowd and everything, but he starts way off and then he comes out to the opening where all the crowd is, and then he stands there, and then he goes down and finds a kid, and then they eat, and then he comes down and eats, and one more time. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to do
Okay.
that on occasion,
We don't need
here and
this.
there, come down through the people. Okay. Other than that, come down the ramp. You'll be fine. You can still, shake their hands or whatever you want to do.
When the show's over, go out and eat all you want. Like,
well, look, and here it is. And here, right here, the last, hour and 20 minutes that we have been talking is the reason why they don't have to change a damn thing, because the people like us
We're still talking about it.
are still going to talk about it. We're still going to collect their cards. We're still going to watch their shows. Right? I mean, no matter how much I think it's friggin' crap and I like that, Friday night.
Because you want to see what happens next.
Right. Because
That's
maybe
all it
I
is.
will see something that I wasn't expecting to see.
yeah.
You're hoping to see that
And even
person
with all the
that's been
crap
around for a
that goes
while
on,
show up.
Is
There's
it
still
that
stuff
you're-
like you don't expect to see, even with the crappy storylines.
I was going to say, is it that you're hopeful it's going to get better, Michael, or is it just like watching like one of those gross pimple popping things that you just can't walk away from? You're going to see how disgusting it's going to get.
I mean, for me, honestly, I am truly hoping that it goes ahead and that it will get better. But the problem I have is being now part of a big corporation, a conglomerate. It's gonna be harder because now and don't get me wrong, I can't believe that Vince didn't look at the dollars and cents of it. But I still think Vince grew up in the business. He understood the business. He knew what the business was about. He knew the importance of the fans and the internet. He knew all of that. He knew how important that was. Where I don't necessarily think that is way a corporation thinks. A corporation is looking at the bottom line P&L. That is it. What is our profit? What is our loss? At the end of the day, that's what it is. Because people, and look, we talk about it, even, it's like with the hobby and everything, right? Oh, yes. They keep going ahead and $400 this year for a box, $500 next year, $600 a year after that. This is a bunch of crap. I'm not going to freaking pay this prices anymore. And they don't give a crap. They're like, yeah, okay. Guess what, Michael? You don't have to buy it. There's a line of guys behind you that'll push your ass out the way to go ahead and buy the box, right?
There's 600 other guys behind you that'll buy one for you.
So I think that's where we're at with it, and for us who have been either Anthony in the business itself or have been fans for many, many years. I mean, I'm going on 50 years of being a wrestling fan. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I've seen all the different eras and whether it be and how everything has changed and everything. And this is the first time, that we're seeing this, but not really, right? I don't think what we're going to see happen with WCW. But you think about it, WCW was the first one who all of a sudden was part of a big conglomerate. And then all of a sudden it was, how much we paying everybody? How much we paying everybody, right? There's talk now that TKO is saying, why are we paying Roman Reigns $15 million a year? Right? So I think what you're seeing is hopefully guys like Triple H, HBK. I don't know about Tony Khan, but hopefully some of these guys who were at that point in time where they saw the Monday Night Wars and they see what happened to WCW and what happened when all of a sudden Time Warner, AOL owned them, and they looked at them differently than they did when Ted Turner owned them, a single person. So we've seen this before. Hopefully we're not headed down that same road again.
They
You know,
need
Do you see it? Go ahead, Anthony.
I was just joking. I was just gonna say they need another billionaire Ted.
right?
Do we ever see WWE and TKO buying out AEW?
No, because Tony Khan's dad has more money than Maul.
Right price. So just saying, there is that right price.
I mean, can it be done? I guess. I mean, Collectors owns PSA and they bought SGC. So I mean, is it possible? Sure. I don't know how fans would feel about it.
Speaking
But
of
you
Tony,
have like the
did you guys see him at the draft for the NFL this year?
Tony?
Yeah, his dad owns the Jaguars, so he
Yeah.
has
Of course, yeah.
like draft room and stuff.
Well, he owns them, and then he owns one of the Premier League soccer teams also, I think.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
I
don't
could see like a war between the two. I think that'd be kind of fun to watch. That's even that we've already seen, so it's kind of like,
yeah.
and you
I mean,
look
you know
at
what, Brendan? That
Right.
really is a good comparison right there.
if
I
you
mean,
go back to the '90s,
it really is.
WWE answered to one person, Vince. Now they answer to a board of directors.
Yeah. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Vince did not care about the bottom line, that Vince did not care about the dollar. But I think Vince understood that the dollars would take care of themselves if you took care of your audience. You took
He
care
knew
of
how
your
to put the butts in the seats, the people to watch. He never, you had some bad storylines, but not too many like you do now.
Oh, he did some stupid shit. The Yeti, the gobbledygooker, and all. I mean, Doink. He went ahead and he had some crazy ass stuff and everything, but he also knew, okay, not gonna work. Let's go ahead and figure out a way, right? Ooh, hey, Isaac. So, Isaac Yankem DDS.
mm-hmm.
That's not going to work. But if we take that guy and we put him in a red mask and we call him the Big Red Machine, holy cow! Look at him now. From that standpoint,
Do we bring back midget wrestling matches?
I would love it. I don't understand why they don't. It's ridiculous. We
Yes.
need
Hornswoggle come back.
and Bull Toro or Little Toro, whatever his name was.
Remember Dink and the Macho Midget back in the day?
Yeah. Remember when they did that that midget Royal Rumble and the guys were like the wrestlers, so they had like a mini Mankind and a mini Stone Cold and everything.
Yep.
That stuff was good. But again, that was that was the part. It was like, hey, the fun part and everything like that. Because you can't say midget anymore.
Okay, so you could have a little people Royal Rumble.
All right.
Well,
You just got
Dwarf wrestling.
yeah,
That would be-
I seen a clip the other day. It was like from when they had the stepladder match, and it was a bunch of them. It was like a 3-step ladder.
Wait, we got to be all inclusive, right? So why don't we have an LGBTQ LMNOQ match?
Yeah, we don't need that. But I don't know. I mean, I think I truly think that it has to do. There is. I think the things that we are seeing, people can believe it if they want. They cannot believe it if they want. But the TK influence, is there. Report came out the other day. Do you know that TKO is $3 billion? No,
Billion.
not million, but B with a billion in debt. They are $3 billion in debt.
That sucks.
Just,
It does, but you got to
Like,
okay.
like,
So
how does that
most companies
happen?
carry debt, so it's
How does that happen? Like, who keeps going? What? Oh, you're 1 billion. Hey, don't worry about it. you know what I'm saying?
Congress. Just
Yeah,
saying, Congress.
Yeah, but they're $3 billion in debt. So if we don't think that they care more about, hey, how do we go ahead and basically get rid of all fat, and then without doing it. Now, some of these contracts that WWE may have, think about it, right? TKO's only owned them for a year, so they may have people who are on other contracts. They may start to look and let these people walk
yeah.
because they're saying, hey, you know what, because you can't. There's one thing you can't tell me. You cannot tell me that Vince McMahon would not hire talent to have them sit their ass at home just so AEW couldn't have them.
Just like any other company in business, right? They take over and then they
Yeah.
find, oh, where can we cut money, even if that company is making all kinds of money and that's why they bought it. They're still like, we could probably, cut this and
Some
cut that
tuning
and cut
here.
this, and
Yeah.
especially if they're 3 billion in debt, they're going to do that even more than a regular company would, right? They're like, we need to.
What you do is they own the PBR. Is that what they own?
Yeah.
Okay, so you tell The Rock, look, you got to go do bull riding. We're going to do a pay-per-view for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to me.
Roman
Like I
Reigns
said,
making
I
15
really would
mil.
love to know the influence because I can't, think it just the product. You can say whatever you want to say, but overall, the product is different than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They just
from
need.
that
There's so
standpoint.
much they could do to make it better, but they don't want to.
I feel like it's gotten worse decade over decade.
Yeah, as they, and as they've become more, PC. I mean, could you imagine them trying to do anything in the Attitude Era today?
No,
No way. No
Can you
way.
imagine them having a bed in the ring and having Edge and Lita? Are you freaking kidding me?
Well, they'd be canceled right away.
Yeah.
Raw and
Well, I
panty
don't know though,
matches?
because it is on Netflix. Raw might be able to get away with it,
Nah,
but
I don't.
Friday
I
Night
don't think so.
SmackDown, no way.
Vince's playbook is there for study. Bad as he was, he knew the business. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he grew up in the business. His father, Vincent Kennedy, Vincent McMahon Sr., he he was the guy, when you think about it, he was the one regionalized, and then when Vince McMahon Jr., when Vinnie Mac took over, he was the one who had the vision of enough
Yeah.
of this regional stuff bullshit. I want to take it. I want to go everywhere. Because they had those lines that you would never cross. They had those imaginary lines, right? There was those borders. Oh, hey, WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Ooh, you know what? You're Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island. You're there. You know what I'm saying? Then it was, NWA, you're here, and so on and so forth. And Vince came along and he was like, yeah, screw that shit.
I'm buying you all out.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go all the way across and everything, so.
Now, here's a question for you.
I think Billy might be taking notice.
Would it be any better if there was a stipulation that when they sold the company that Stephanie and Shane were the ones who ran it? There was just money from TKO. Would we have any better storylines, or it'd be kind of the same way? Because they were both there in the Attitude Era during that whole wars and all that.
Probably.
Full control would be better.
Was that?
I bet if they had full control, it would be better.
Yeah.
Because they probably have to get stuff approved before they can do it.
Probably.
Well, TKO was the one that came out and said, "Hey, I think they said we don't want the blood anymore," wasn't it?
Yeah.
After the whole thing with Jimmy, right? I think that was the last, right, when Jimmy went ahead and did what he did when Gunther beat the crap out of him. You know, a few weeks or whatever it was before WrestleMania. After that, they were like,
Yep.
"No, no, 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 no." Stephanie, I'd see maybe Stephanie, but I think Shane had already disconnected and kind of been out a little bit for a few years and stuff. But you would have thought, what the hell? I mean, Triple H was right there. I mean, it really wouldn't have. I mean, Triple H was the Attitude Era. When you look at the stuff that he did, all that kind of stuff, right? You would think that if you were to take the three of them, Triple H would have been the one that would have been able to go ahead and forge forward and everything. But you can't do it.
If you don't have
The new
full
boss man says no, you're not going to do that. We don't want storylines. We don't want buildup. We don't want something to take 6 months to get there. We don't want that anymore. We want things boom, boom, boom. We are
That's what makes me think Rock does not have a whole lot to say in those meetings. Here and there, maybe, but when it comes to himself, he does. But other than that, I don't think they really don't look at it too much.
Yeah, you're right, Brandon. Those guys, they knew how to go ahead and sell the storylines and stuff like that. It wasn't, one of the you would never you wouldn't see those guys jumping up on a table yeeting.
No.
Even if they could. None of them could get up at the table, but even if they could, they wouldn't. Like Gorilla Monsoon was not jumping on top of the table.
No.
But you know what I'm saying?
McAfee when he first came in.
Yeah.
Like when McAfee first started, I thought he was doing really good, but now I'm just like, bring Corey Graves back up.
Yep.
Leave him there.
Yeah.
I like Corey Graves.
Corey Graves is I'm liking him a lot more too.
I
cannot stand Booker T.
and the King.
Booker T needs to go.
They were good.
Well, I guess I read somewhere he walked out on that new show the other night, that LFG or whatever, because Michelle McCool came in to take Mickey James's spot, and supposedly they gave her 2 draft spots right in that back to back, and he didn't like it and walked out. So, not that it's a big deal, but
yeah, I watched that show once. It was interesting, but you could see how raw those people are. Like you could see how they are just like, how they are just starting out. You know what I mean?
The guy that won and came to NXT, he's a pretty badass, man. If you've seen NXT this week when he just ran that Japanese dude right over.
Yeah, he
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's been good, but like I said though, to me, I think the one change they need to figure out somehow to make is to not have NXT be like this, the playground per se, all the stuff like that. I mean, I think they need to figure out a way to elevate that brand more. I mean, does it help from a talent perspective, spreading them out? I don't know, probably not. But, I mean, to me, I think that might help them a little bit. But I just think at the end of the day, when you look at how much in-ring time they have on their shows, they have way too much talent for it.
I would even like to see, like, you have the whole, like, find a character to go up against the boss, like one of the managers, the boss, or whatever you call it. So I mean, even something like that where you had Stone Cold and Vince, something like that would even, I think, intrigue a little bit more. But there's really nobody you have. What are you gonna do? Have LA Knight, the Stone Cold / Rock person, go up against one of the guys? No.
I mean, look, Adam Pearce
Yeah.
and Nick Aldis are former world champions. You know, from that, you know, from that standpoint, but that kind of stuff just isn't, you know, that kind of stuff's not in the books anymore.
No.
Like I said, I just don't, you know.
We bring back Big Johnny.
What?
We bring back Big Johnny.
Yeah. That's okay. I didn't really care for Big Johnny.
I would like to see Teddy Long come back. I loved him.
Come on, player.
He was the best GM they had.
Come on, player.
I seen an interview, like, he said he used to dance the way he dances. Like, when he would come out, he did that little dance. He's like, I used to dance in front of, like, my granddaughter, and she would laugh. He's like, so I just started doing it on SmackDown.
Hey, Robert, thanks a lot.
Yeah, Robert, have a good night, brother.
Again,
Peace,
congratulations on your granddaughter, and I hope your physical therapy goes well tomorrow. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it.
Because he just made it so fun to watch when he come out. And, like, when they were fun. All right, player. It's you and you versus him, and that match starts right now.
Yeah,
Nick
I
Aldis and the other one just don't do anything there. They sit back. They don't really get involved.
I think a lot of
they do a little bit, but not with the.
It's more backstage
type stuff with him. I mean, look, let's face it. The truth of the matter is this, you know, when you look at some of the things that they are doing and so on and so forth, you know, it's the TikTok, Instagram, Reels, YouTube Shorts world, you know, that we're living in. Got it, you know.
That brings up another point. I just thought about that. Is it possible that Cena puts over LA Knight? That's be an interesting match.
I don't know. I mean,
what's up, Jeff?
I don't know from a standpoint of is that's the guy that they, to me, that's the guy that they I don't know if they ruined him. You know,
I think it was like something with the backstage, like stuff was going on, you know, in the locker room, and why he didn't get that push.
Elias. Just saying.
Yeah, I loved Elias.
I liked Elias's brother.
I don't know. I think they have opportunities to do. They have opportunities to do some stuff.
Can we bring back Eugene?
No.
And what's with wrestlers? Like nobody plays characters anymore. Nobody has like Vince went from, you know, like he would have a lot of different characters and people that did jobs, like you said, like Isaac Yankum and all those guys from that era. They were all like a character, or like they did a job, or like the Repo Man and like all these crazy guys. Now it's just like everybody is their name. You know, it's just like,
there's no. I mean, you have Penta, but they're meant to be that way. You don't have anybody like Brutus the Barber. You don't have that. You don't have Roddy Pipers. You don't. There's just no thought that goes into it. It's like, this is your name. Okay, you're good.
Yeah. Again, like it boils down to the fact of is that they, you know, if it's again, if they're to me, I don't know how far ahead they look. To me, I think they look, you know, short term. And what's the sense, you know, if you're not going to do anything? I mean, you know, there's things that they could. We all know there's things that they could make tweaks to, and do some stuff. You know, I mean, again, you look at Night of Champions, and there's only 2 championship matches.
Yeah,
I mean, it's stupid. You know, King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. Those old school, those things were awesome. When you fought 3-4 times in one night to become the King of the Ring, that's what it meant. That's what that was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't like how they do it now. I loved
You know,
having that pay-per-view
right?
Yeah.
You know, and
because
stuff like that and everything. You know, and now it's, you know, you don't know what character development is. They hype up these guys for coming in. I mean, you think about it, right? Sticks, you mentioned about, right? Tomatonga and Tomaloka, right? Well, you know, those the Samoan guys, they're crazy, right? There was so much hype about bringing them in. All of a sudden, Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo, you know, shows up. Boom. Then what? You know,
yeah,
what do you do with them? You know, and now look, you bring back Aleister Black from AEW. You bring back
Yeah.
Rusev. Did you really? Are you telling me you brought back Rusev so he can go ahead and feud with Sheamus? That's why. That is why you brought that guy back. You brought that
or
back
the
so you can have a League of Nations fight.
or the guy from Alpha Academy, you know, like
Otis, Tozawa.
Tozawa.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's even still there. He's got to be close to 55, 60.
Who?
Tozawa.
Oh.
You have him. Why
I
not
wonder.
bring Funaki back then? That's all I'm saying.
Tozawa's 39.
No, still.
Later, Brandon. Thanks for popping in, man. Much appreciated. But that's what I'm saying. To me, you know, George the Animal Steel. My gosh, green tongue or bloom tongue, ripping out, going to the turnbuckle and chewing the turnbuckle and chewing on the freaking stuffing and everything.
And
I mean,
he
man, you know,
was a
Yeah.
college professor
yeah.
as well.
And he was a college professor.
He
Nice
did
guy.
both.
You know, but I think, you know, from a standpoint, you know, again, you bring in all of this talent, you know, and right away you think about maybe pushing some of them, but when you already had guys, look at um Carmelo Hayes.
He's done. They don't do much with him
What have they
anymore.
done with him? Oh, hey, you know what? We'll make him win Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
And then do nothing with him.
For what?
And then lose every match after that.
For
Yeah.
what?
They don't do
Oh,
anything.
and you know, I'm in a couple other couple of Twitter chats. I'd be like, oh man, Carmelo, no, they're just waiting for him. Waiting for what? What is he standing on a platform waiting for the train to come? What is he waiting for?
Team him with Logan Paul.
I mean, I just don't. Again, you know, I just don't understand when you look at the talent that they're bringing in, how they are trying to go ahead and make it work. That's why I said, like, I don't understand. Here we're talking about, you know, they were willing to let R-Truth go, and the backlash made them go ahead and bring him back. But while you're letting that guy go, you're bringing in a JC Mateo, do nothing.
Although I will
He's not
say,
even entertaining. At least
I
R-Truth doesn't have to be in a match to entertain people.
I still think that was part
Yeah.
of the storyline, but that's me.
What?
Them supposedly letting him go. I think everything that was said out there on Twitter and him saying so, I think it was just to throw everybody off, but I could be wrong. But Mateo has done nothing.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm saying. You know, you bring Mateo, nothing. You bring Aleister Black, nothing. You bring Rusev, nothing. You know, yet then but then you have these young guys that you're bringing up, and then you see what happens. Dragunov, wait till he comes back. He's unbelievable. Like, if you haven't watched, if that's a guy who you have not seen a lot of, I'm telling you right now, go to YouTube, look him up, watch some of the matches that he and Gunther had. And I don't know if he was Gunther or he might have been I think he might have been Walter back then. But when you look at some of the matches they had, incredible.
But
He has
will he
had
be the same?
incredible matches.
Will he be the same after getting hurt in rehab and all? You never know.
I don't know what his problem was. Problem with the NXT guys coming up, they can't perform on a big stage. If fans don't watch NXT, don't understand Mel. Yeah, I get that, Jeff, that they don't understand Mello, but what is WWE doing? They promote him to the main roster for what? because he did everything he could at NXT. Okay, then what? At least give a storyline of him potentially moving up the ranks to become IC champ, to become US champ. But no, think about it. Well, look, Jacob Fatu's the same way. You all of a sudden came in. Now he's been here for a while, but same thing. Well, not when you look at a bunch of the other talent who had been here for a while, who had been in NXT that they promoted, that have been in the organization. They bring him in, boom, boom, boom. Next, U.S. title, slap a belt on a guy.
But there's so many on their roster that they don't know what to do with.
I know.
I think they're going to see more cuts coming.
They have to.
But then they'll bring up somebody that you don't think. Or they'll go get Dustin Rhodes to team with Cody again.
Yeah, Jeff, I don't disagree with you. I agree wholeheartedly, but what is the WWE doing from a match perspective to make fans want to root and want to push him and cheer for him and have him move up to the next level, right? If you're having him going up against the guys that are super already established, that are not going to lose to a guy like Mello, you're not doing him any favors.
Exactly.
I think the crowd was really starting to not like Mello, which if he's heel, it's what you want, right? But they didn't push him hard enough to do things that would get the crowd to boo louder.
Right.
Well,
when you had to take that moment when he won the Andre the Giant and Miz came out there, that was a point right there. Bang. He picks up that damn trophy and he smacks Miz in the head with it. You set him up on a different trajectory.
And then you start using that necklace to win matches, right? Like he goes against a crowd favorite and the rest not losing, he cracks him with the Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
But you look, they brought Penta up. Look what they did with him. Has he even won a match yet?
Look at Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
She's disappeared.
They make such a massive hype of Ray Phoenix, and they bring him on to WrestleMania, and he loses to El Grande Americano. I mean, who might be the greatest luchador ever, right below Rey Mysterio, but it doesn't matter. You what do you do for that guy? Like if you wanted to push El Grande, you make him go against Dragon Lee at that point. At that point, you don't have him go to Ray Phoenix when you try to build Ray Phoenix up to go ahead and have him lose to him. Who there are people out there who think he's a joke. But there's a whole bunch of people who are fully behind El Grande Americano.
Okay, Mike. So this is what I'm going to tell you. Look at the injured list and tell me they're not the same person. Chad's on the injured list. So is Americano. So
okay, and so what? And so is Otis. They're not the same person.
Otis is not going to be.
I mean, come on. Just because two guys are on the list hurt doesn't mean they're the same person.
I love you, Mike. I really do. But you just can't fix stupid sometimes. Well, I know the Miz contract ends in July, so he'll probably just leave. He's been talking about it.
Yep.
Otis should go.
Oh, God, those scratches. Yeah, but then again, you look at the different things, right? They got El Phantasmo de whatever, those three guys. What are you doing with him? You bring Andrade back. What are you doing with him? I just think at the end of the day, they have to either cut down on the talking, more in-ring wrestling, or they got to start to thin the herd and let these people go out. Let them become independent. Let them become the next Matt Cordonas or, Shotzi came out and she said that in a week or in whatever it was, 2 weeks, she made more money on the indie circuit than she did with WWE. Let these guys go and do that type of stuff because you're causing the fans angst in trying to figure out what the hell you're doing.
Well, Matt Cordova, isn't he over on AEW now?
He will do some things with them, but I think he's still I don't think he's signed on to be full-time AEW. But hey,
Enzo.
the clock is Enzo Amore, I mean, but he
screwed himself.
Yeah, he did some bad
I
stuff.
was watching, that's something before we get off here, an AEW match, because that's where Big Cass is at now under a different name.
William
whole-
Morrissey.
And the whole crowd was yelling Enzo's name, and he started doing the dance and then flipped off the crowd.
Well, hey, thanks a lot, everybody. You three gentlemen, thank you so much for making this show awesome. Appreciate you guys going ahead and taking time out of your night to come. Last words, John.
Enjoy you guys' week. Watch SmackDown, see what goes on, and we'll see. I might join Corey on Saturday. Who knows?
Sounds good. Corey?
Yeah, join me Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for Night of Champions. If you want to watch along with us, have a good time.
Brandon, thank you very much. So, Corey, is that live on YouTube? Like, do you broadcast at the same time, or is it just like you guys hang out?
Yeah, we go live on YouTube, kind of like what we're doing now. And then on another device, we'll be watching. Like, I'll put in a headphone and watch on my laptop.
Gotcha.
Because you can't broadcast it, right? But, we all do that. And then we just kind of like talk as it's going on and enjoy the show together. I find it more fun than just if I was sitting here alone watching the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anthony?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, guys, if you want to come check out Pittsburgh, like I said earlier in the show, Michael and I are going to be doing a new podcast over there for the start of the NFL season. So come over there, check it out. It'll be a live show like this, and it'll be a call-in show, so anybody can call in and give their opinions on stuff.
I would love to join you, but I don't want to hear about Mike's sad Jets. I really don't.
I don't want to hear about you. I don't want to talk
The
about your
Commanders are going all the way.
I don't want to talk about your damn Commanders.
You know they're going all the way this year.
No, but hey, thanks a lot. Don't forget, starting July, 9 p.m. Eastern will be the new time. Not 10 p.m., but we'll still be doing all the exact same shenanigans and talking about wrestling and talking about sports and sports cards and all that kind of stuff. First round of the NBA draft is over. Have that tomorrow night. Always good. Thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody. Much appreciated.
Real quick, Mike. Any updates on your card sales and stuff? And your relationships?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got thrown into a project that I have to work this week. That I have to actually work tomorrow night and this weekend, so I can't do it. And then we have 4th of July, so Tuesday, July 8th, unless something happens, is when it's going to be. It sucks that I got to keep moving it, but it's damn work thing that pays the bills. Sons of bitches. But thanks a lot, everybody. Much appreciated. Have a great one.